When I was young, yeah, I was 9 years old and just going to church every Sunday with my mom and with my family. And I'm in church and I'm sitting there praying and then I'm sleeping in church and I'm playing with toys. But it just something about the experience of going. It never really resonated with me because I thought that there was something else out there and I just couldn't put my hand on it. When did I start to feel that we were not alone? It was the same age, around 9 years old, just the entire process of church. And the fact that I was asking 100,000 questions to my sisters and just, gazing into the universe, the skies at night, the stars, it was an overwhelming feeling that I felt that we were not alone. So I would ask my mom, I would ask my dad, how many planets are in the universe? Why is it so dark out in the sky? Now that I look back at it at 9 years old and just the process of coming to the grips that I am. And you gotta wonder, what is a young boy thinking about? You should be thinking about toys. You should be thinking about, going to the zoo or going to the movies or collecting different action figures. But I was contemplating that I was and that I am. All because of the vision in the sky, the stars, the fact that there was a moon. It interested me to the level you just would never imagine. And now that I look back at it, I can actually say that was the moment that it all started for me. That was the moment. So I'm 9 years old and I'm obviously have all these thoughts in my head. And I'm wondering, there are no other 9-year-olds I can talk to. But I'm talking to my mom, Mom, why are they shouting in church? Or asking my sisters, who is God? Where is he at? All along, just knowing that there's something not right. I am so conflicted at this point. I believe in God, but I was having a hard time in grasping, where was he? And that's when I knew that I was. And that's when I knew that I was not alone. And still, I was, for a number of years until my mom passed away, would go home for the holidays and we'd go to church on Sunday, Mother's Day or anything that was special, we'd go to church. But I would be there. It was sort of a built-in routine for me. And I still never really got the feeling that I belonged. But when my sister Tereska woke me up with the words that she gave me for my affirmation of faith, it was incredible. It was an incredible experience on how to use metaphysics. I didn't know what metaphysics was at that time, but now I knew what she gave me was a form of metaphysics. It was a form of manifestation. But when she gave me the affirmation of faith and the way I applied it, I was like, oh my God, this stuff works. It just blew me away. And at that moment, my third eye chakra started to open. How did my research begin? Oh, I did a book journey and let me walk you through how that process was and how it enlightened me so much. The first book I read was Elizabeth Womack, The 12 Archangels. Wow. That was a enlightening book because it talked about the Archangel Michael, the Archangel Gabriel. It talked about how God created the universe. This book, ironically, is dealing with sound and light. When I tell you an amazing book, that was one of the first books I read, and it really catapulted me into my awakening. I didn't stop there. I read Angel Words by Doreen Virtue. I read Far Journeys by Dr. Bob Monroe. I read a book on astral projection. Then I started to read a lot of books on dimensional shifting. I started to really read books that were pertaining to remote viewing. But everything would always come back to meditation. No, it wasn't all easy. There were things that I ran into that really, woke me up. My ego was a major problem. it took me in different directions that I just did not think I could go. There were a lot of things that I had to change about me in order to move into my awakening. I had to, maybe analyze how I spoke to people. Taking a hard look at, the friends I was hanging around, although good people, but maybe not the right type of friends you needed for the movement or the moment you were experiencing. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time. We all can attest to that, but I found myself in those particular spaces. Not being able to cope with bad news in the appropriate way. I had to change a lot about myself in order to clear my vessel. Well, now this brings me to today. And now that I'm woke, you can see, everything. You can see the spiritual awakening that's happening across our country, but you can also see the people who are not woke. And it's amazing that you can see the matrix. You can see how God has developed this cosmic plan for all of us. Being awake is just the beginning. Now that I realize all the spiritual gifts that I have, that you have, it is absolutely just mind-blowing. I've learned how to leave my body with astral projection. I've learned how to meditate and keep my mind still for hours at a time. I've learned how to manifest. I've learned how to manifest things you wouldn't believe. We've just begun. And now my new journey has begun, and that is to share the knowledge with everyone, to teach, to consult, to help anybody, and to deliver content in the most meaningful way for the greatest and highest use for all. Well, my podcast is for those who want to hear words of inspiration, who want to understand the awakening process, who want to maybe understand how to induce astral projection, how to learn to meditate, how to learn how to move your conscience, how to remote view. There's so many different spiritual gifts that we have. So I know that I'm Woke, the podcast, will help people who are trying to experience an awakening. Yeah, one of the questions I get mainly is, how do you speak to God, or how do you reach God? But what they should be asking is, how do I find the God within myself? In the podcast, I'm Woke, we talk about those type of things, on how to find everything you want from within. Anything that you ever thought that you needed in your life, from within. It all starts from within. And I wish that more people would, just follow that, because everything that's external, it's just what it is. You don't start living, truly living, until you explore what's within.